Hi there, safety conscious haulers. Today in your 2017 Grand Design Solitude, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install CURT's Push-to-Test Breakaway Kit with battery.
Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, I already got a battery on my trailer, why do I need this? Well, this is a separate battery that is hooked up just to the charge circuit that's isolated from the rest of our circuit to ensure that we've got that available in those emergency events when we need it. And really the biggest benefit of this system over your just typical battery and breakaway switch is the fact that it does have a tester here on it. The tester makes it quick and easy to just verify that you're going to be safe when going down the road, because too many people just hook up and just get on their way without checking any of their stuff, and then when the event happens they find out when it's too late that their system wasn't ready to activate properly. With this one we can just boom, we know we're ready to roll. We have 3 LEDs on our battery box indicating its status. The bottom light here is lit up and that's telling us that it's currently charging. Above that we have the recharge light and the fully charged light, and those will come on when we hold down the test button, letting us know what we need to do. I hear it saying that it's fully charged, so we don't need to charge it up, and that's likely because it's currently charging, that's reading fully charged. But if the battery was discharged and you were to hold down the test button, the recharge light would light up indicating that you need to recharge the battery. You can get inside the box to access the battery if you need to. There are 2 screws that you'll need to remove, and then our cover will just slide open here, because this is a side-loading battery box, which will allow us to easily slide out the battery and replace it with another one years down the road when the battery is no longer any good. But we still have use of our box, tester, and charger, even though we've replaced the battery. The battery located inside is going to be a small 12-volt, 5 amp hour battery. It is good though, before you take your trailer out, to always just double check and test the battery to ensure that you do have the safety system functioning properly if you do need it. And that's probably the biggest, best feature of this, is the fact that I can just come out here and hit a button and know that I'm safe, or if I need to perform any maintenance before hitting the road. In addition to the battery box and charger, it also comes with a new breakaway switch. And this is nice because breakaway switches do break down. It's always a good idea, in addition to testing your battery, to also test your braking system by pulling the breakaway pin. When you pull the pin, your brakes should apply, and if they don't, then you know that your breakaway switch is likely malfunctioned. Now you could have a discharged battery, but the point of the breakaway switch here is that in the event of a catastrophic disconnect, the other end of our cable will be hooked to our towing vehicle, and then it will pull the pin. When it pulls the pin, that will close the contacts on the inside, sending an electrical signal to your brakes to allow them to apply. These do wear out on the inside, and the contacts will stay spread open even after the pin is pulled, and it won't apply the brakes. So this is another component that's always a good idea to test before every time you tow. If you want to test it, just pull it. You should hear your brakes actuating. If you have electric brakes, it's just going to be a very small hum, so you may need to get close to it. And you can always try to push the trailer, or if you have it jacked up, try to turn the wheel. We've got electric over hydraulics, so you're definitely going to hear these brakes apply. Coming out of your box, you're going to have 3 wires. The red wire is your power. This is going to hook to the charge line circuit on your 7-way, so that way when you're plugged into your vehicle, it's charging up our battery when going down the road. The white wire is ground, so you're just going to hook that to your trailer ground. And the blue wire here is our breakaway switch output. So you'll just hook this to one of the wires on your breakaway switch. I do like in this kit that the breakaway switch does come color-coded with a blue wire and a black wire, so you can hook this to the blue wire, although it doesn't really matter on the breakaway switch end. The other end of your breakaway switch, which is a black wire, will need to hook to either your electric brakes to apply those, or to the appropriate circuit on your electric over hydraulic actuator. We can now start connecting the wires to our battery. You'll have 3 wires coming off of it. One is ground, which is a white wire that I've run over to a stud over here and just attached a ring terminal to it. And the other 2 here, you'll have your red wire and your blue wire. Your red wire is your battery positive circuit that's going to plug into the charge line from your 7-way. Now I've already extended the charge line circuit from the 7-way and brought it here inside. That's this black wire here. So we're going to go ahead and take this wire here and we're going to strip it back. And we're just going to use a butt connector to connect it to the red wire. You can just use regular butt connectors if you're mounting this inside a compartment. We are mounting it in a compartment, but I've decided to go ahead and use heat shrink butt connectors to protect it against any moisture that may occur out here, since this is not a completely sealed compartment. And if you're installing it outside, I highly recommend heat shrink butt connectors. We have those available here at eTrailer.com. We got our power circuit connected there, and then to the battery there. And we've got power and ground hooked up. You can see the charging light came on our battery here, showing that it's charging, so we know power and ground is good. We now need to hook up the blue wire. The blue wire is the breakaway switch output circuit. So this is for your breakaway switch to power it up. So one end of your breakaway switch connects to your braking system to apply the brakes, and the other one needs to connect to a power source to be able to do so, and that's what this blue wire is. So we're just going to get this tape off of here, and then we can go ahead and strip it back once we get it out of the way. And you will likely need to extend your wire as well from your breakaway switch, which is the white wire that I've got here. Now either wire coming from your breakaway switch can be extended to this point. Doesn't matter which one is connected to which from the breakaway switch, as long as one is connected to a power source, particularly this blue circuit from our breakaway battery, and the other one's connected to your braking system. And we're just going to use butt connectors just like we did before to make this connection. We can then take our heat gun and shrink down our butt connectors. Your breakaway switch is typically mounted up on your pin box. If you've got a damaged or old one that you're wanting to replace, you'll just simply remove the bolt that's holding it on. We're going to use a 3/8 socket for this one because it's just a little self-tapper. And now that we've got that off of there, we're going to save the bolt because we are going to go ahead and reuse it. And our wiring here then, we can go ahead and just cut this off and we can splice our new wiring into it. Now if you want, you can also hook this directly to your 7-way, but in most cases your connector is the only part that gets damaged and your wiring is just fine. So you can see where our two breakaway switch wires go into our junction box here. We're just going to cut the wires right here. And then we're just going to slide our old breakaway switch out and set it aside. We can now take our new breakaway switch. We're going to slide the bolt back in it. You do receive new self-tappers with your kit, so you can reuse those, but since this one's already painted black, it already matches, so we're just going to reuse it. If you're installing one for the first time, then you can use the included self-tappers to run it right in. I would highly recommend using a power tool when tightening it down. So we're just going to snug it down. We do want our breakaway switch to be able to pivot a little bit if it needs to, because we want it to have a straight path when pulling the pin out. So I always like to just double check to make sure that it does still have just a little bit of movement if it needs it. And now we'll route our wiring back over towards our junction box. Now that we've got our wires routed up, we can strip back our previous breakaway switch wires. Again, if you're just adding one, you'll want to open up your junction box and connect it directly to the 7-way. Once we've got those stripped back, we can take our new breakaway switch wires. We're just going to get an idea of how long we need. I do like to leave a little excess for the future, just in case we need it. We're going to go ahead and cut these. We'll then strip those back. And now we can reconnect our breakaway switch wires back up to the original breakaway switch wires. If you were adding this, these are color-coded to help you finding the right wires. Now it doesn't really matter which one you hook to which, but I do like that they provided the color coding for you, because black is typically the color of the 7-pole wire for your charge line, which is your power. And blue is typically the color of your brake signal circuit from your brake controller. And those are the two things that your breakaway switch needs to work properly. Again, it doesn't matter which one of these is connected to those, but I do like that they provided that for if it's your first time. Since both of our wires here are black, we're just going to go ahead and make our connections. We're going to crimp one of the wires to the black one, and then we're going to crimp the other one here to our blue one. We are using heat shrink butt connectors when doing this, since this is outside the vehicle. Heat shrink butt connectors will keep out any moisture and to ensure a long-lasting corrosion-free connection.
And that completes our installation of CURT's Push-to-Test Breakaway Kit with battery on our 2017 Grand Design Solitude.